What is up, everybody? Chris Hendrickson here with some really exciting news to share with you today. So, as of a few hours ago, the House has officially approved this year's 2018 Farm Bill. This is really exciting. I'm going to go over this article from Politico here in just a second, but I just want to bring you up to speed. Just so you know, as of yesterday, the Senate approved the 2018 Farm Bill. It went on to the House for a vote today. It is passed, and now it is on to the President's desk for signing. So, this article from Politico titled Farm Bill Headed to Trump After Landslide House Approval, and it really was. So this is an article from Helena Bodie-Miller-Evich and Catherine Boudreau. It says right here, the House on Wednesday easily passed the compromise farm bill by a vote of 369 to 47. All right. So, sending the sweeping agriculture and nutrition measure to President Donald Trump to sign. This is a quote from House Agriculture Chairman Mike Conway, Republican from Texas, says, "I have all the confidence in the world he'll sign it." He said this before the vote. The overwhelming bipartisan support for the bill caps an 8-month fight over the legislation, marking a quick turnaround for House and Senate negotiators who were deadlocked in efforts to resolve a dispute over food stamps as recently as a few weeks ago. House Republicans had sought to impose stricter work requirements on millions of food stamp recipients. As I mentioned in the last video, this may affect 1.1 million food stamp recipients. So for those of you who don't want food stamps to be messed with, this is the right farm bill for you. A priority for House Speaker Paul Ryan and conservatives that Trump had embraced. But Democrats unanimously opposed the House plan, and Senate leaders also rejected it because overhauling the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps, could not clear the 60-vote threshold required in the Senate. The compromise bill, H.R. 215, released late Monday night and approved overwhelmingly by the Senate on Tuesday, was stripped of every controversial House GOP proposal on SNAP, thwarting Ryan's quest to secure a portion of his welfare reform agenda. Scrolling down in here, the Democrats unanimously opposed the House plan, and Senate leaders also rejected it because overhauling the SNAP. I already read that part. Looks like it's a duplicate in the article. So the compromise bill released late Monday night. So that's interesting that it's a repeat on this article. So just continuing down, Democrats were clearly eager to approve the final deal. The vote included just 3 Democrats who voted against the bill: Ron Kine, Democrat from Wisconsin; Earl Blumenauer, a Democrat from Oregon; and Lloyd Doggett, a Democrat from Texas. So it says right here from House Agriculture Ranking Member Colleen Peterson, Democrat from Minnesota, quote, "After a rocky start, I'm just proud to turn a partisan bill into a bipartisan bill." Colleen Peterson, who led Democrats in opposing the original House measure early this year, quote, "That's the way Congress is supposed to work." Conway, who is at odds with Peterson during much of the standoff over food stamps, commended the Democrat for delivering votes. Quote, "Colleen and his team delivered across the board," the House Agriculture Chairman said. Quote, "Team effort. Both parties, both sides, I think, are happy with it." And certainly the animal advocacy community is very happy with this farm bill. As I mentioned, this bill does not contain the Dangerous King Amendment, which would thwart states' rights to regulate animal welfare, along with many other things like tobacco age limits and wild rice labeling, oddly enough. So the King Amendment is out of there. 3 big things were the Pet and Women's Safety Act, the Parity and Animal Cruelty Enforcement Act, and then also the Prohibition on dog and cat meat trade. All right, these are 3 big wins for animals, and very excited about getting those included into this farm bill and the King Amendment not being included. All right, so continuing on, the 5-year legislation largely continues current farm and nutrition policy and is projected to cost $867 billion over a decade. Trump must sign it into law before the end of the month. Conway said after the vote that he believes Trump will sign the measure next week. Despite the bipartisan ending the vote provided, the Farm Bill process this year was far from traditional. Congress tries to reauthorize the Farm Bill every 5 years, but the historically bipartisan process has become more contentious in recent cycles as conservatives have targeted the food stamp program for deep cuts. Continuing on, the House GOP proposals on food stamps that were scrapped would have led to about 1.5 million people being dropped from the program, according to the Congressional Budget Office projections. So, as I mentioned last video, they were saying 1.1 million. Republicans were saying that that number is contestable, and the Congressional Budget Office is saying 1.5 million people. So, some variation in the calculations there. The program helps nearly 40 million low-income Americans buy groceries each month, costs about $70 billion per year, and accounts for more than 3/4 of total Farm Bill spending. The final bill doesn't alter SNAP benefits and change eligibility for the program in any significant way. So this is really exciting. I'm not going to continue reading on. The main focus on this is that the House and Senate are finally getting this thing through. They were supposed to have this done, I think, back in September, but there was the break over the summer for both the House and the Senate, and they just couldn't agree on it. The SNAP benefits were really controversial and something that people were really taking a stand on. So happy to see that they came to a compromise, that this farm bill is going onto the president's desk to sign, and we'll see how it goes. I'll have more updates on when the president signs it, so be on the lookout for that video. And check out my latest video called The Age of the Chicken. So going in here is the YouTube channel. If you want, hop on over there. It's youtube.com, Hendrickson News. And it could be the age of the chicken geologically. I go into a really interesting article that my wife actually shared with me. And if you aren't already as well, please be sure to go over to Twitter and follow me. We're just starting out this thing, so your follows will really mean a lot to me right now. You'll be up to date on all the coolest news that's coming out with regards to animal welfare, farming, with regards to clean meat, replacing, harmful agricultural practices with a cleaner, safer alternative, and many, many more things ranging all across the board, and basically whatever I feel like I will make a video about. But those are the main topics that I'm going to be focusing on. So thank you so much for watching. Remember, go to Twitter, drop that follow, go to YouTube, subscribe on the channel, and thank you all, and have a great day wherever you are.